Yo, what is going on, guys? So we got some clips here today of some ladies who are not too happy about dating over 40. So let's see what they have to say.
So I thought at 43 years old, I was past the point of getting stood up for dates. But, ladies and gentlemen, Steve from Bumble is here to teach me a motherfucking lesson. This is the guy that puts on his profile he's looking for high quality women. Does Steve not know that high quality women are busy motherfuckers? And I've just travelled to South Manchester to try and meet this cunt, and he's not done the decency of sending me a fucking goddamn text. Fuck you, Steve from Bumble. Fuck you.
You know, I couldn't even cut out all of the F words there, okay? The ladies, look, they're not happy. Okay, they get to over 40, they want to actually start taking dating seriously, and they're surprised to find out that, hey, men aren't so interested anymore. But what is going on, gentlemen? It is Taylor the Fiend back again with another response video. And on today's show, guys, we got a bunch of clips, as well as a bunch of stories. But before we crack into it, guys, if you're new here, you're liking the videos, make sure you subscribe on your way in. Come and join the Discord and the locals links in the description if you haven't already. And as always, guys, if you'd like to support the channel, Locals has an option for that. But guys, we're just going to jump straight into the next video here. And much of the same vein.
What are some weird...
women are not happy, about the dating situation. So let's see what this one has to say. And this, for reference, she is a single mother. She's dating over 50.
All right, this is going to be an episode of Rate My Date from my Sunday brunch. So here goes. Overall, I'm going to tell you that I give this date a 3 out of 10, and here's why. He looked like his pictures, pretty much, a little heavier than his pictures, but he was tall, he was attractive, he was successful, he was smart. He picked
Tall, attractive, successful. It's like, notice how the first thing that she mentions there is tall, right? And we as dudes, we seem to get shamed to hell for having any sort of preference in dating. Oh, you're a guy and you don't like women who don't take care of their bodies? Oh, you're the M word, right? But here we go right off the bat, and they want to say that men are more superficial, right? That we only care about a woman's looks, and yet whenever we open up a video like this, guys, it's always, oh, he was tall, right? He was successful.
a great restaurant. All those things are great, so I'm going to give him props for that. But I will tell you, here I go again on another date with someone that asks me not one question. He does not know where I live, what I do for a living, how old my kid is. He knows nothing.
And how old the kid is. Right, guys, these single mothers are going on dates this is a single mother over the age of 50. Okay, and look, I understand that some guys, maybe something terrible happened and your man is not with you anymore. But gentlemen, these ladies who are dating over 50, my goodness, absolutely not. The longer a girl goes without a life partner, without a serious relationship, the more of a red flag it is, gentlemen. You might think to yourself whenever a girl says, like in last video, right, we had the girl say, oh yeah, I studied at university and I didn't have any serious relationships during that time. Like, what other kind of relationships do you think that they have, guys? If you want to date a girl with a high count, that's on you, man. But I'm telling you, you're going to have a lot more problems, especially if they have a kid. Man, these girls are over 50 with a child, right? And have the audacity to rate their dates a 3 out of 10 when he's tall, successful, and good looking. Like, you're lucky you got the date at all.
Nothing about me. Nothing. And I hate those, what's your favorite color? I don't mean that, but just a regular conversation back and forth like a tennis match. I asked him a ton of questions. He didn't ask me anything back. It was actually weird. At the end of the date, I really got the impression that he was a player, but he told me he wanted to see me again. When I said to him, you don't know anything about me, he said, what do I need to know about you? I know that I'm attracted to you.
And, that's on him, okay? Each to their own. Me personally, no thank you, but... girls will say, here's the very interesting part, okay? Girls will respond more to a man who doesn't validate them, okay? But they will respond well to men who validate them, who know that, they know he has other girls, right? So if he says, oh, you're beautiful, right? But she knows in the back of her mind that she's option number 51, right? She's going to go, oh, he becomes a lot more interesting. Okay, make no mistake as well, when girls say, oh, I was concerned that he's a player, right? He's a player. Notice how they all still fall for the players, by the way, right? They want to pretend like, oh, this thing just happened, right? Oh, we went out for movies, one thing led to another, and before we know it, we were at his house having a great time. Guys, there is no such thing as one thing led to another. This is a thing that girls tell themselves and they tell other people so that they can justify their terrible dating decisions. That's all that it is, guys. Right? They'll go to his house. What do you think they're going to do? Like, listen to music, you know? But let me just say this, okay? It amazes me how even when girls are over 50, right, and they're out here dating, and they've gone through all their men in their 20s, dismissing guys, being rude to ghosting, I mean, you know, online dating as well, right? They've gone through all of these guys, and then they have the audacity to sit there and rate a date 3 out of 10. Like, do you know how difficult it is for the average man to get a date with a woman that is semi-attractive? It is incredibly difficult.
What? Holy shit. The other thing is, he didn't drink at all. Is that a deal breaker for you guys? Because I'm not sure if it is for me or not. All right.
No? Like, what even is that, man? What the hell even is that? You know, girls who complain about dating men are just, it's just such an incredibly clueless position to have, okay? Because they don't see how good that they have it. Right, a girl like this who is over 50 can still get dates. You want to be the average man, you want to go out and try and date, okay, if you want a shocking experience, and this is something that we're going to be jumping into later today on this episode, look, if you're a guy and you jump into dating, online dating specifically, you are going to have a very rough time. In fact, to the majority of guys, I would say don't even bother with that stuff. Your self-esteem is going to take such a huge hit as a man because you've got all these girls out here thinking that they're absolute queens and that they deserve to be wined and dined and everything like that. Hell, like this lady even has a child, man. Right, so she's not even free of her last relationship, technically speaking. But gentlemen, we're going to move into perhaps today's last TikTok before we crack into the stories. And this is also one on the ladies having, you know, body preferences. So let's have a look at this.
What are some weirdly specific things that you consider to be red flags in men?
Men who are rude to fat women or traditionally unattractive women. Let me explain. As a fat woman, a lot of time, guys will come up to my friends and I and will flirt with my thinner friends. And that's fine. But the way that they interact with me tells me every single thing I need to know about them. If they acknowledge my presence, you know, say hello, whatever, chill. But so many times, they won't even look me in the eye. They will talk to my friends and pretend like I'm not there.
Right, and let's just imagine the inverse of this for a moment before she continues. Okay, if you're a man, let's just say you're short, you're not particularly attractive, you don't earn a lot of money, right? You all these things are stacked against you. You think that girls will pay you any attention, right? You think that a girl will pay you? Man, we got girls out here in Western countries, man, who think that it's a requisite that a guy earn over 100K, they think, before he's worthy of their time. They'll still date broke guys who don't validate them, who are attractive and all that, man. But you got these girls out here thinking, I'm not going to give him the time of day unless he earns 6 figures or he's super attractive or something like that. Right? And that's a perfectly fine thing to have in today's society. That's called, you know, you go queen. Fantastic that you have standards. You know your worth. That's what that's called. Right? But if a man doesn't want to talk to a girl that he finds unattractive, then we start to have issues. Right? Then these girls start to lose their minds. And let's just see how this girl spins it as well.
And that immediately tells me that that person doesn't respect me. So men who don't respect women, they don't find fuckable, they don't respect women. Like,
yeah, okay. So does that mean that every girl doesn't respect men? Right? Like, and hint, right? But look, girls will not give the time of day to a man who doesn't meet their requirements. In fact, I will say this, guys. If you're a man and you don't necessarily meet her requirements in terms of looks, earnings, and all that sort of stuff, and you ask her out on a date or something like that, expect to be publicly shamed for that. Girls actually find it insulting when a guy who they perceive is lower than them comes up and asks them out on a date or something like that. They will actually get mad and they will actually shame you for it. Right, men who offer up their commitment and want to give roses right off the bat, or just like we talk a lot on this show about shopping out of your price range. Okay, these girls will be shopping out of their price range. When they perceive a man to be shopping out of their price range, they are absolutely ruthless. Right, absolutely, they will treat you terribly, guys. And when it's inverted, it's not so funny, right? And they start to get real mad about it.
Like straight up, they do not respect women. Because if they don't respect the women they're not attracted to, then they're just trying to be kind to you because they want to get into your pants.
And, let's flip it once more, okay? Does that mean a guy who, doesn't earn a certain amount of money and she only talks to him if he's certain level of successful, does that make her a gold digger, right? Like, guys, we know this. If you're new to this side of the internet, maybe you don't, but girls prefer to date across and up, gentlemen. That means they prefer to date men who earn equal or more money than them, typically more. They like men who are taller than them. They like men who are more attractive than them. They like men who are more intelligent than them. Okay, girls want to date up, right? And they lose their minds. They lose their minds when they're the down option. Okay, it's perfectly well for them to treat men as though they don't exist. Right? We all know this, guys. If you're an average man, generally speaking, you're invisible to most women. Because what happens is they get on these social media sites, they're getting hit on by men, all around the globe. And they think that they're entitled to the highest quality man that they're getting hit on by. They think, okay, well, I got his time for 20 minutes on a Tuesday. Surely that means I'm deserving of a relationship with a guy like that again. And any guy who hits on me below that, he's not worth my time. I'm going to ignore him or shame him for it. I'm telling you, man, if you go up to a girl and you want to hit on her and stuff like that, and she perceives you as lower, she's going to treat it as an insult. She'll do that stuff where she'll scrunch up her face and and she'll tell her friends, oh, look what this guy did. Oh, that's so weird, and they'll all have a laugh, right? But for some reason it's okay when it's not okay when it's the other way around.
If you have a fat friend and she gets bad vibes from a guy, listen to her. She is right.
What are some weird...
And you think the friends are going to listen to you? So this girl wants her friends to take her judgment. So what she's doing is she's essentially C blocking. I can't say C because YouTube, you know what I mean? But she's essentially she's trying to prevent her friends from getting with guys because she is making a judgment about their character because she's being ignored. Right? And there's something, maybe the guy does have bad character. Maybe you can make that argument, okay? But the funny part about it is your friends aren't going to listen to you. Man, girls do not listen to dating advice, and the dating advice that they do listen to is typically terrible, right? So if you want to say, "Hey, sis, I don't think that guy is too good for you," if he's attractive, she's not going to listen to you. She's still going to go with the guy, right? And all of this stuff, by the way, gentlemen, it starts to become an issue when they realize that they aren't the ones being picked first. All of this stuff, man, about, oh, men treat me this way or men treat me this way, it starts to really become an issue when they hit 40 and 50 and stuff like that. When they're young and pretty and all the attention's on them, it's nothing could go wrong because that's all they're interested in, right? It's like, okay, well, have I got enough validation to sustain me through? When the validation starts to drop, that's when it becomes like, oh, things start to fall apart, they start to lose their minds a bit, and the world isn't such a happy place anymore. But gentlemen, we're going to be cracking into a couple of stories today as I momentarily pull them up. Make sure you leave your comments and your thoughts, by the way, as we go through these stories. And it's always interesting to see what you guys have to say. Oftentimes, I do miss a lot of things, and I appreciate you guys pulling me up for it. But let's have a look at this first article we have here from Reddit. And it is titled, "My ex, who is a 22-year-old female, wanted me, a 24-year-old male, to try the relationship again with a twist." Gentlemen, you do not try relationships for a second time. Just don't waste your time. Long story long, my ex-fiance left me 3 months ago. She left me for another man who she felt she had much more in common with. They've been not officially together more or less since she left me, and she had told me that they had also been having bedroom fun, and he'd been staying over. They'd been going on days and weekend trips away, etc. Seemed like they were doing alright, and she was happy with him, to be honest. The other day, she's making it out like she regretted leaving me and was hinting that she regretted going off with him too and suggested she wishes we just went on a break instead of me getting flat out dumped. She wanted to talk to me yesterday, so I said okay. She called and basically... Guys, we say this every time on the channel. You do not go back to girls. You do not sit down and have discussions with them. If a girl is attracted to you, it'll be there. There's none of this talking on the telephone crap, man, about trying to work things out. Guys, you do not work things out. They either work or she can hit the highway, guys. Like, none of this debate kind of stuff and figuring out. But let's continue with the story here. She told me that she called it off with this guy and that she wanted us to start, like, quote, dating again and making sure we got to spend proper time together every so often, which was a problem before as she never seemed to want to spend any proper time with me around, having our kids to look after, etc. Wow, so get this, okay? So she was with this guy, they were engaged, and she left for another guy and they had kids together. Guys, let me tell you this. When a girl pulls this sort of stuff, the reason why she's coming back is because the chances are that situation that she had with the other dude that she felt she had more in common with, chances are that fell through or she realized he's not going to provide for her, and so she comes crawling back to the guy who actually makes a good father. Right, that's what it is. These girls, what they'll do is they'll want to take a break, right? And what that means is she wants to go have fun with Chad. And then when that doesn't work out, all of a sudden they want to come crawling back to their home and and stuff like that. That's not how it works. Once you're out, you're out. Let's continue. Blah blah blah. There was always something else she wanted to do other than spend time with me because it means losing out on time with the children, she says. So I just had to deal with having our relationship neglected for over 5 years or so and feel like the we part never really mattered. So that was good and that she wanted to get us spending time together. However, she then said that she still wanted to be friends with this guy that she had been having fun with, going out with, sharing the same bed, our old bed, and continue having a friendship with him even though he's the one that would still want to be with her. I said, hell no, basically. I said, I won't stop you from being friends with him, but I will not be there with you in that situation. I told her that she's putting someone else in front of me yet again and picking them over me, as she more or less said that because he hadn't done anything wrong. That she felt obligated to be friends with him while still mending the past relationship that we had. In other words, she wants to have her cake and eat it too. Guys, these girls who come to this age and they start coming to these realizations of, look, I need to pick a guy who's actually going to be there and going to be stable for me, but at the same time, I want to have Chad. What they want to do is they want to set it up in such a way where you might think that you're winning, but she still gets to see the other guy. You see, they want to play both of you, and the worst part about these situations, I'm telling you, man, is the girls will sit in a relationship with the guy who's the father. This guy who's writing the story, and she will sit there and tell him to his face, oh, I just wish we worked on each other, and I want to do all of these positive things, and I love you, and I care about you, and I just want to make our family work. She'll tell you all of these fantastic things, but what are her actions saying? Her actions are saying, you know what, you're not valuable to me at all insofar as anything other than money, and I'm going to go and have fun with this other guy regardless of what you say about it. That's what it is. Like, the words and the actions are two separate things, and we as guys, man, can't be falling for this stuff anymore. Like, that's not love. What she's trying to do is she's trying to get the best possible benefit for her. That's all that it is. It's completely selfish. Let's continue. I told her to put the shoe on the other foot and pretend that it was me asking her to deal with that. I said I know full well you would be extremely unhappy with me asking you to let me continue friendship with a girl that I had relations with in that sense, but she made it seem like she would be okay with it, which, let's be real, she definitely wouldn't have. So because I said I wouldn't be happy with him being around and having you both meeting up even as friends, while here's a factor as to say why she left me in the first place, to try it with him, she more or less said that was that, and that's where the repair attempt was left. Look, it makes me incredibly sad to see men try and put themselves through this, to try and solve things that have no business being solved. This guy in this relationship, guys, once it is done, it is gone. It is done. Okay, there is no... I just want to pull this up because I think it's kind of important for you guys to see. This guy's sitting down and trying to tell her to put the shoe on the other foot and imagine how he feels. Gentlemen, I just want to make this quite clear. Girls do not really care about how you feel. Right? If a girl understands that she can hurt you and that your feelings are hurt or the situation would be painful for you, bro, she doesn't care. She just looks at it as like, it's gross. Right? It's gross. You get these girls who will sit there and they'll say, I just want a man who's emotionally available. I want a guy who cares for me. I want a guy who's going to open up about his feelings. Gentlemen, if you open up about your feelings and you try and get her to understand your feelings, please understand that that's going to push her away. A lot of the behavior that this guy has on him is one of the reasons why she's going out there seeking the good guy, because she knows that this guy is just wrapped around her finger, man. He'll give her anything in the world. It's all, she doesn't care about how you feel. Absolutely not. Let's continue. I'm pretty sure. Oh wait, I'm pretty sure I'm not wrong for acting the way I did. I find it extremely disrespectful. She expected me to be okay with her still having him around after being gallivanted um, with him for the last 3 months. Gallivanted, excuse me. After she left me, I more or less told her if he's around that I won't be putting myself in that situation due to the toxicity it would bring to our relationship being built back up. In my opinion, it's just wrong to ask someone to be okay with that. It makes it worse how she put her friendship with him first, yet again showing me that I'm not a priority to her, and essentially said if I'm not okay with that, then that's the end of that. Should I have been more understanding? Was I right to react the way I did? The fact that this guy is questioning his position is so disturbing. You see what I mean, guys, about how men are just kind of almost trained to have no self-respect. It is ridiculous. But this is good. We see some actual sense in the comments for once, right? I have no idea why you would even want to try again with her. She does not sound as good, sound a good partner at all. Cut the contact and meet a girl that loves you. I agree with this guy. I wanted to hear, so this is the original poster again. I wanted to hear her out. I hope she would have said the right things, but instead she ended up telling me that he was still going to be a friend to her and I wasn't okay with that. Mending anything with me is off the table. Honestly, couldn't believe the audacity of it after having left me in the first place. And this guy says, that one is on you, man. She left you for another guy and probably already had something with him before leaving, giving the timing. True. Showed you nothing but disrespect, then tried to come back and you let her speak. Be civil for the kids, but only that she has, but not only that. Wait, no, but only that. She has no idea what she wants in life and has no problem leaving a path of emotional destruction. Don't get caught in her games. Fantastic comment. You know, it's not all the time that you see actual, sense coming out of these things, guys. It's like, common sense in 2021 is so far out the window, it isn't even funny. It really isn't. And in fact, that segues us perfectly into the next story here, guys, which is titled, My 25-year-old male girlfriend, 23-year-old female, cheated on me for a year and got upset that I found out. And we're going to just jump straight into the story here. So I have been with my girlfriend for almost 6 years. Most of it has been great and we have spent quite a few stages of life together. I have always believed in the aspect of trust in a relationship, and if anything happens or comes up, it's talked about. However, through all my long-term relationships, I've always been cheated on, so I definitely need to change that. We have grown together through family things that I can't say, promotions, and everything under the sun except for a child. I'm not mentally stable in the sense that I'm schizophrenic, and she is not either, suffering from DNA. The first 3 years were fantastic, and then when it came to the recent years, I've been struggling, so she's made our larger life choices. Moving to our own place, getting us back in school. I have not really been verbally expressive in my life at all and never really let her know in what way I appreciate what she does. Her cues for us usually always need to be verbal, so it's more direct, which I understand, however I not always did. The recent years, she's become more distant in every aspect, including to the point where we got intimate. It felt like a chore for both of us, and we would not talk about issues anymore. By this time, she got a very good job that I planned to turn into a career and love. Oh, she got me a very good job that I planned to turn into a career and love. While her job she does not fully enjoy. Fast forward to the last year in our relationship, I started feeling like she was sort of pushing me to the end of the relationship, basically becoming an angry roommate sort of situation, but I always believed the best in people. We're going to have a bit of a pause there. Okay, a lot of men, a lot of men are really nice guys, and I don't say that in the derogatory sense in which it has been, turned into these days, guys, but what I mean to say there is a lot of guys are incredibly good-hearted. Right, a lot of guys will look over a lot of things and think, oh, okay, well, she's just doing that and that's okay, it'll blow over. She's still a good person, all this kind of stuff. Guys, do not be making excuses for people. Okay, what'll happen is girls will act out in a relationship and a lot of men will sit there and think, okay, well, it was just this one time, or I can look past it, or maybe she's going through a rough patch, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to let her have that moment, and then I'm just going to continue like nothing has happened in the relationship. If you come across disrespect, or things that are, bumps in the road, sort it out immediately. And the reason why I say that is because if you do not sort these issues out, what's going to happen is they're going to grow and gradually become worse and worse. Let me put it to you this way. If you're a guy and a girl, she just comes in and she goes off at you kind of thing, and it was a completely unjustified argument, 1, don't argue with her. 2, withdraw your damn attention. Right? Girls who respect their partners, they don't cause a lot of headaches to them, men. A lot of men are in relationships where girls are just straight up causing so many issues, and they think that it's, it's them being a good person to stay with people who are treating you like crap. Gentlemen, it is not being a good person if you stay with someone who treats you terribly. Okay, don't believe that for a second. I don't care how many articles you read out there. Like outside this video, guys, when you click off this video, you're gonna see people in life that'll try and tell you, hey man, a real man does this, a real man does that. Don't let anyone tell you what the hell a real man does, guys. Like, people will try and brainwash you to not put yourself first and to be in situations that are just flat out disgusting. Don't be accepting that stuff. Let's continue. I felt awkward one night and looked through her phone, finding many different accounts of her cheating with at least 2 guys, doing all these spicy things, and setting up meetups with these people. I called my father immediately and was furious as the whole family had seen her as their daughter-in-law. Woke her up in the middle of the night and confronted her. However, the reaction I received was unfortunately expected. First, she denied knowing these people, then denying talking to them, then denied the fun aspects, until finally just saying yes, that it's been happening. You know, when we read these stories, it never ceases to amaze me just how much partners are capable of lying to one another right to their face, even when caught. You will notice if you're a man in this situation and you've caught your girl and you've said this to her, it's not uncommon for the reaction to just be completely blank. You know, and then if you eventually just make it totally irrefutable, it'll be like, okay, well, you deserved it in some way or another, right? Or you had it coming, or the reason why I did it was because you were so insecure, right? And they'll try and make it out as though you're the bad guy when they finally do admit it. It's really disturbing. Let's continue. Blah, 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 the reaction, yes, yes. Oh, here we go. Then denied talking to them, then denied the aspects, until finally just saying yes, it's been happening. She confessed to it being with 3 guys in the last year because she's been emotionally desperate in our... What did I tell you? Right? What did I tell you? She did it because she wasn't getting what she needed out of the relationship. Right? She did it because, oh, my emotional connection wasn't there. I needed to feel connected. Man, there are many things I could say that would not be particularly YouTube friendly here, so, we got to keep it PG here, gentlemen. But emotional connection, maybe that's not the kind, that she was after right there, okay? I asked her if she would have ever told me, and she said no if she didn't get caught. However, these people she's been talking to, I've known some for 5 years and her for 8+, so I doubt it's only gotten to this point in the last year. The whole time we were talking, she gave off the feeling that she didn't really care and was more upset that she got caught. Then when it seemed like I was ready to end things, she starts bawling, saying she wants to fix the relationship. Guys, girls will pull this. The reason why she gets upset there is because I'm just going to come out and say it, guys. It's because the resources and herself are in jeopardy there. This guy that she's with, like he mentioned, he's got a good paying career now. Right? He represents stability, he represents money, he represents her not having to work for the rest of her life if she plays her cards right. And now that's being taken away, now she's upset. She doesn't care about this guy, man. Like, absolutely not. And it saddens me to say, but a lot of men are in this situation where the girl doesn't care at all. Like, she doesn't care at all. She starts to care, she starts to get upset when the resources are gone. When her chance at a future are gone. This is just completely selfish love is what it is. If you can even use that word, which you can't, but let's continue. After talking, we sort of agreed that she would go to therapy for this, stop all contact, and try to rebuild what we had. No. That's gross, man. I would focus on giving her the more verbal aspects of praise and being more emotionally supportive and involved in her life. How did they get to this resolution? That is so wrong, it isn't even funny. I mainly agreed due to either of us not being financially stable independently and didn't want to deal with the hassle of figuring it out. No, you were financially independent, she is not. Let's continue. I have been putting her first by every means since then and putting her on a pedestal. However, she hasn't really changed that much. Besides having these people blocked on everything for 2 of them, I haven't found anything on the 3rd. Whenever I bring up the fact that I don't feel like she's committing to fixing this, her response is, I built you up, what else do you want me to do? Which upsets me as I'm not doing everything I can to salvage the relationship, and then she says for me to create the ground rules for her to follow to rebuild trust. I didn't feel comfortable giving an answer as that made me feel like it was just wasting time if I have to tell you what to do and seems like a jail sentence. But I decided to make it one today. She always gets upset whenever I interacted with females, which didn't really bother me as a relationship should come. first anyways. I told her that she would give me the mutual respect and to do the same with not talking to guys, which would have helped rebuild the trust aspect. However, she got combative and made it a big deal. Should I take the leap and end things, as it seems I'm the only one committed, or should I continue trying to fix what possibly isn't there anything more? Anything helps. Guys, we're going to leave today's show there. Goodness gracious me. The man needs to have left 30 damn years ago. Goodness gracious. Guys, we're going to call it there. As always, make sure you leave your comments and your thoughts to today's stories and videos. Come and join the locals and the Discord links in the description if you have not already. Both of those are totally free to join, gentlemen. And if you are interested in supporting the channel, locals has an option for that, and the link is below the video somewhere. But we're going to call it there. As always, make sure you guys take care of yourselves, and I will see you boys in the next video. Peace.